Our modern day model of DNA replication is called semi-conservative. This is where the DNA double helix separates into two strands called polynucleotides. These strands are complementary and such can create new double helixes using both the original strand and a new strand. How does this relate to Meselson's and Stahl's experiment? Two different scientists called Watson and Crick had a hypothesis that DNA was semi-conservative. Well, Meselson and Stahl wanted to test this hypothesis. Before I continue, I must talk about nitrogen. All the bases in DNA contain the element nitrogen. Nitrogen comes in two different isotopes. These are nitrogen 14, the lighter one, and nitrogen 15, the heavier one. M&S used the isotopes of nitrogen in their experiments. They extracted the DNA of bacteria from a normal solution and isolated that DNA. Then, after that, they spun the DNA at very high speeds in a centrifuge. They discovered that the DNA formed a band which they could detect. They had also tried this with bacteria that had fully cultivated in a solution with nitrogen 15. The nitrogen 15 bacteria band was lower than the nitrogen 14 bacteria band. So, they began doing some more experimenting. They placed bacteria from the nitrogen 15 solution into the nitrogen 14 solution and allowed the bacteria to go through only one generation. They repeated the whole process of DNA isolation and density centrifugation. What was produced was a band that was in between the nitrogen 14 band and the nitrogen 15 band. This told M&S that the original nitrogen 15 strand was acting as a template for the new nitrogen 14 strand. This was a light-heavy build. This proved that DNA was not conservative and proved the theory of semi-conservative and dispersive replication, but they weren't finished. Instead of one generation, they did it for two, and discovered that the generation 2 band was higher than the generation 1 band. This, in turn, had a light, heavy build. This proved the semi-conservative theory and disproved the dispersive theory, that being that after 2 generations, the bacteria will have a mixture of heavy and light DNA. But that doesn't matter.
God bless you all.